Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel, Delise Paris with Indian Hen Farm. Guys, first of all, it's been a hot minute, right? We had parent-teacher conferences, and Isabel's little school closes the school for parent-teacher conferences. So, that kept me busy. And then I got sick last week. I was pretty sick. I was in bed, and I couldn't even muster the energy to say I was sick. So, but I'm back, and we finished the interactive journal, which, y'all, I'm having a day. I did a video on this, and I did a video on this, and then realized for some reason my microphone wasn't working, and there was no sound on either. So this is take 7 million, but that's okay. It'll be fine. I finished the interactive journal, and one of the things I realized while I was filling all of the pockets was that as much as I like little tags and things that, we can write on, these are so much fun to make. But one of the things I realized was my favorite sort of stuff in interactive journals are things more like this. And I will say that maybe I don't get to do quite as much crazy decorating. I mean, I guess you could. But what I love about this sort of concept is when I journal, I'm not the girl who journals like a paragraph, like da-da-da-da, and I'm done. I tend to journal maybe 3 or 4 pages at a time. I guess I have a lot to say even when I'm writing. I know you can't shut me up. I don't know what to tell y'all. So stuff like this, where you can open it up and you've got, some pretty decent journaling paper, feels to me like what I want to see in a journal, what I would prefer, as opposed to something like, hold on, well, like this, where I'm like, oh, okay, well, today was great, uh-oh, well, now I gotta find another place to write. Now, everybody's different, but I don't even know if you can call what I do junk journaling. I have no idea. It's junk journaling, it's botanical journaling, it's art journal. It is what it is, and I don't feel the need to label it, honestly. I enjoy it, and I enjoy what I consider just really magical journals that have surprises and are interactive and a lot of fun. So that being said, I was thinking about pages, and we did the page that I just showed you in a tutorial, but I was thinking a little bit about when I went to London and I became really infatuated with history. It was my first time out of the country. I was in my 20s, and I just lost my mind, to be honest. The idea of being able to read, and at the time it was Queen Elizabeth and Mary Queen of Scots and that whole thing. I even did my college thesis on Queen Elizabeth. I was so enamored with her. And the idea that I could see these places, because, the United States is a relatively young country. And for some reason, I don't feel that same connection. I always swore that if there were past lives, then I definitely lived in London at one time, because it felt to me like coming home. And so I started reading these stories as I was going to the Tower and seeing the scaffold site and Westminster Abbey and just all of this stuff, and going and we went to Scotland, to Edinburgh, and seeing the castle there, and just feeling so connected with these stories, and almost like I was walking in the footprints of these historical figures. And I love I mean, there was so much, it felt like, intrigue and secrecy and this kind of constant fight for survival. And the idea that they would write a letter full of assassination plots or whatever it is, things that were so secret, things that could get them killed or beheaded or imprisoned. And the only thing protecting this letter was a wax seal and a trusted person to carry it. And the thought of that, I mean, how many people do you really trust that much? But we're not going to go that far, because I know Queen Elizabeth did, she went even one step further. She did some sewing and some slits and some tucks and all of these crazy folds. But in the United States, our interlocked letters were more based on the idea that we didn't have ready-made envelopes. So a lot of times your letter was folded in such a way that you would write the address and everything, seal it, and that one in the mail. And then they would get it and they would open it up, right? And we're going to do a simple version of that because my thought is if I go too crazy, maybe you never can figure out how to fold it back, or you almost have to tear it to unfold it. And I want these obviously to be something that can be opened, written on, and closed and put back in the journal. Okay, so this is, I think it's a 16th century fold, if I remember correctly. And it's really simple. Let me show you. So I did a few different versions of, well, I decorated them in different ways, but this is just a letter-sized piece of paper, and it untucks, open it up, close it, fold it back up, and then see this tab and this tab is where this fits back in. Super simple. But I feel like really cool. Uh-oh, there we go. And sometimes I feel like I have to, there we go. Okay. So I did sort of the paneling, which I just love that look with a little tab, just to give it a little something. I did some where I went a little crazy. I think this is kind of a fail. It's way too busy for my taste, but it's an example of sort of like just you could decorate that entire edge. This one, which is the cluster and a little, what is that? Live in the moment. This is just eco-printed paper that the way it folded, I thought, wow, that looks really cool. Another cluster with the tab and just the panels with nothing else. So I love this idea because I really love ideas that have like full-size paper. So I'm going to show you how to make it this way. There is another one like this where it's the same concept, but it folds smaller. Okay, I'm going to tell you guys. I don't love this one as much. And the reason why is because it gets a lot thicker and chunkier. Now, if you have smaller pockets, this is perfect, right? But I'm not a big fan of gator mouth. I want my journals to mostly be flat. I really love that. And one of the things I find in doing that is I need thinner things that go inside. So when this is folded this way, it's much thinner than when it's folded that way, right? The other thing is if I can disperse the bulk across, I don't end up with all this bulk kind of at the front or at the back, right? So these are things I think about because I just do. But I'm going to show you both. Okay. So I've got some, oh, don't spill your coffee, Elias. I'm still working on my coffee from this morning. I've got some eco-printed. This is like lightly printed paper. It's when I have like maybe just a few flower petals left. So it's my version of sort of tea-dyed paper with just a little something more. And I just love that. I really do. Okay, so for this one, we're going to take its letter size, right? And we're going to fold in on one side. We're going to, this is horizontal now. I'm going to go in about 1 inch. You can go, obviously, you can go as far as you want. Like you could go really far and make it much shorter. But like I said, I kind of think that's just so elegant. And when I put it in a journal, here, we'll just pull this one out. It's so pretty. So I like this sort of size. So that's the size I'm going to show you. Okay. Get this out of the way again. Okay, so we went in about 1 inch, right? Oh. Okay. And then we're going to turn it and go in about 1 inch on the other side. Looks about right. Okay. That looks a little shorter. If you have your, oh my gosh. What is wrong with my brain today? I have no idea. Okay, let's just move forward. Okay, so I've got these two folds here, and then I'm just going to fold up one, two, and then this flap will fold down. Okay. Okay. And like I said, so you've got this sort of thing going on. And these, hopefully you can see that, are going to fold into these two flaps. And what I find is if I kind of hold it like this and bow it, and then slide it in, and nice and flat. Isn't it gorgeous? Super easy, right? And so much fun, and gets you a whole writing sheet of paper. I know, things that make me so excited. So let me show you the other way, which again, like I said, is not my favorite. But I'm going to show it to you because who am I to say what you should and shouldn't do? I'm just going to show you on this one. Okay, so you got your full piece of paper again. We're going to fold it in half. Okay. And then you're going to fold it in half again. So it's in half. Fold it in half again. We're going to fold up and fold this down. And if you look, you're going to see that first part has this going on. And then you have these other little, the other four, right? One of the things I don't like about this method is now we're trying to fit these four pieces into here. And I find it can get a little scrunchier. Like you're definitely going to have to put a little more effort into getting it in there. Now, once you get it in, and then, like I said, it's got a little more bulk. You can put this under a book to flatten it out. I just really think, well, there's your two concepts, okay? Y'all do whichever one meets your need at the moment, okay? So I have this piece, and let's just do, you know, we're here. Let's just decorate it real quick. I'm not going to go too crazy. Let's see. I'm going to do, you know what? I think I like the idea of using this sort of postcard part because it's kind of fun. So, let's see. I'm going to go right here. I'm going to cut there. And, okay. And there. Okay. I really love the panels. Uh-oh. Where'd I put my lines? Shoot. I really hate it when I do that. Are they on this side? No. Why do I do that? Okay. Oh, there's one. I see one. Okay. Oh, I see the other one. Usually I use the white side, but I wanted to make sure. Okay, enough. You guys get it. Okay. Did I? Yeah, okay. Got a little panel here. Let's get this out of the way. Oh, now I can't decide. Okay, just Okay. Let's do it this way so I can see my line for sure. And obviously, if I'm making a bunch of these, I'm gonna mass make them. Like, I have a whole bunch of these folded up right now. I'm ready to go. Because it's faster. Because it's faster. Okay. Cut this one. Was it this? No, it's the other one. This one. Okay. Okay. Now I am going to, where did my other cutter go? Where did I put you? I don't know. I'm going to just keep moving forward. I've got stuff everywhere. On video day, I tend to do 2 or 3 videos at the same time because by the time I get everything out and get going, it's just easier. But that being said, it means that where I'm videoing is a bit of a disaster. Okay. I like my other cutter better, but I'm not going to waste time looking for it. So that one's going to go there. And that's too big. Okay, so we're going to go, just trim that. Sorry, guys. Well, I'm not sorry. Never mind, I take it all back. Oh, Lordy. Okay. When I mean panels, I'm talking about like this look, where you've got an edge all the way around. You can do this, obviously, without the panels, where you just glue it all the way across the front. I just think this looks a little more professional. And has another layer of interest. Okay. And since I tend to like to decorate, I've got kind of a lot going on the edges of my pages and stuff. Sometimes I want my ephemera not to be too crazy because if you've got like busy, like a really busy one of these on a really, really busy page, to me, it can be a little distracting. Now, that being said, I know everybody is different. Okay, so I'm just going to ink this up a little bit. You know, there's a place in the tower, and any of y'all here British probably know this, but where you can actually see where Queen Elizabeth was imprisoned in the tower. And I did my thesis in college on Queen Elizabeth. She's kind of one of my, really admire her. And I'm talking about Queen Elizabeth the First. Anyway, she apparently did some sort of carving on the wall, and it's a private, or at the time when I was in London, I guess I don't know if this is true anymore, but it was a private office. And I so very much wanted to see it. And my thought was always someday that I would go back and get a chance. But then I got to tell you, I love the world so much and every sort of culture and people and place that it's hard to imagine going anywhere twice when there's so many places I haven't gone to once yet. But that being said, I think Isabel, my daughter, would love London. And I privately think if there are past lives, that's I lived there at one point because I felt so connected to it. But I would love to bring Isabel and show her and hope that it kind of gives her a love for history the way I have a love for history. Okay. So we're going to put this first panel on, and I'm going to tell y'all, I sometimes, you can eyeball it, but I'm going to cheat. I'm just going to make a little line here and a little line here. so I know where I want it and I'll erase them. And then I just put a line of glue here because I really am kind of I like things to be very well centered. And there we go. Okay. Oh. I say as I don't center it. See? And it doesn't always work. And then I just flip it, pop this up, and get the rest of my glue on. That's the way I do it. But there is a million ways to pet a dog. Okay. There we go. So we got that panel there. And now we can just line this panel up with this one, which is much easier. So I went sort of down the rabbit hole on his historic folds. But I love using some of this in our stuff it's fun to think that we're bringing back some concepts, you know? Okay, is that good? Yeah, that looks good. Okay, so I've got that down. And then we can ink these edges if we want. I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'm just going to do a little bit so you guys can see. You know that. Okay. And then for fun, let's just do a little something something. What do we want? What do we want? Let's see. Got all these tabs. That's a little too pink. Got a whole bucket here of fancy cuts. That's kind of pretty. I should just pull a few out and take a look. My goodness gracious. So much stuff in here. Oh, I love that green, don't y'all? That and that one. Okay. I think I want to do a green. Let's take a look. Yeah, I think I'm going to do green. So I'm just going to ink this. And I'm going to glue it shut. I love tabs. I do. Okay. Okay, that's good. And I'm going to glue. Where do I want it? I think right there. So I'm going to get my glue on here. Whoop. Try not to make too much of a mess. Yeah. Right there. Okay. And maybe, let's see what we got. We could do that. We've got this faux wax seal. That might be kind of fun. Let's do a faux wax seal and a little piece of, we got some book cloth here. Can I tear it off? Love book cloth. Faux wax seal. Yeah. And a little label, I think. Or a little one of these little wax, or sorry, rub-on transfer. Let's do Chronicles. That works. It's right here. Is it gonna be too long? It is. It is going to be too long, so we will not do Chronicles. We will do well, Evidence. Okay. Okay. Y'all know how to do these, especially if you watch my channel, because I do them a lot. I'm going to get that down. Can you guys see? I'll bring you down just a little bit. See? So we're going to get this on here. Y'all, I'm curious. Uh-oh. Do most of you guys pay for the commercial-free YouTube? Because I don't. I just skip them. Let me pop you back up a little bit. This thing is always falling, isn't it? But it means that I don't watch a lot of YouTube on my TV. I tend to watch it on my phone. But I noticed that in my analytics, let's see, do we want the white or the brown? I'm going to do it like that. Okay. I noticed on my analytics that a fair number of people who watch my channel watch it on their TV. And I was always curious because it seems like a pain in the butt to like skip it on your remote. Okay. I like these little, I found these at the dollar store. I make them too, but sometimes, you know what? I want that further up, I think. Sometimes it's nice just to have them on hand. Huh, there's that. Okay. Feels like it needs one more thing, doesn't it? Well, maybe not. Maybe it's good. Okay. So, like I said, super easy, super cool. And then when you just open it up, and I like doing the tabs because I think that looks really clean on the inside. Write your letter, fold it, fold it, fold it. Pop it back in. Cinnamon, hold on one sec. And I just think it's a really cool interlock sort of journaling piece. Okay, y'all. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope that the sound recorded and I don't have to do this video again. Like, subscribe, comment, share, and I will see you guys again. Thanks. Bye.